Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry for the horrible audio. But anyways, let's jump into it. This week is always sponsored by Haven Cottage Investments. You know the deal, you know the people, you know how to contact them. Shoot them an email, call them, anything like that. You need to get investments right. Houses, apartments, anything and everything that revolves around where you're living, where you're sleeping, or where you're eating. Hopefully it's not in a box. Either way, contact them. Alright? All the information is down below. And if you mention the podcast, you get half off your commission rate. That is awesome. Alright? And without further ado, here's the episode. One more podcast.
Oh, look at me! I'm a drummer boy, and I want to be in a school, and I'm gonna break up with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna do everything I can to be the best, and have all these realistic expectations of fame and fortune, and then my guy is gonna like throw a thing at me, and then he's gonna relate to the other successful people, and you see parallelisms in his story and his hardships, and mixing it with the actual real people who have made it. And then, oh wait, no, he does all these things, and then he messes up, and then he gets hit by a car, and then he's like, oh, I'm okay to go to this thing because I'm so insane in the head. And then my teacher says, hey, no, you're bad. And then I leave, and then like however many months later, because it's summer, so I'm expecting the fall semester, and so it's like during the summer. So I guess another entire semester has went by, and so he probably hasn't practiced at all. And then all of a sudden he goes to this concert, and he's like, and then he is good.
Evan, you see a little oversimplification there?
So that was the beginning of this podcast, right?
That was literally the entire movie.
Because
That's it.
I
That's
think
the
that was
1
the
minute
most-
and 20 seconds. We're done. That's the
Because I
review.
think that was the most biased beginning to a review I have ever.
What do you mean biased review? I have no idea what
I want to hear. Okay, so I don't know, listeners. We
So,
reviewed the movie called Whiplash.
Whiplash.
All right. Hello. Welcome back, everybody, to the One More Podcast movie review. We reviewed Whiplash, and on my right, I have Blake, and on my left, I have Evan. We're not doing introductions like normal because this movie upset me. Anyways, continue, Blake.
No,
I want to hear why this movie upset
Exactly.
you. I think we both want to hear why this movie
I want to
upset
hear
you.
what your fundamental flaws were, or critiques in the positive connotation were for this movie.
It's Birdman. It's all over Birdman all over again. So, okay. So you start, okay, I would say probably the first half of this movie when he was in the school was very solid. It was the back and forth between the characters were great. You know, you were rooting for this kid, and you're like, okay, we want you to be the best. You know, obviously with the whole hand in the ice water with the blood and the practicing and the blisters and the thing, you're like, oh yeah, man, this kid's like in it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna win it. Bleh. And then you just like see his brain break because, you know,
Because why?
because the whatever the newspaper guy, editor guy was like, Parker, I need Spider-Man.
Are you talking about
God.
J.K. Simmons'
Yeah,
character
thank
in
you.
Sam
Thank you. What
Raimi's
is-
Spider-Man universe?
What is his name?
James?
Terrence Fletcher.
James
No,
Jameson
in
Smith?
Spider-Man.
Whatever.
Yeah,
James,
no, I'm talking about this
Jameson-
movie.
I don't know.
I'm talking about the movie the podcast
Yeah,
is
Fletcher.
Anyways,
Anyways,
the newspaper guy was like breaking this poor kid's brain, and like literally you could see it in the movie, like his facial expressions and just kind of like the life has been sucked out of him, and it's just it's like upsetting, and I didn't like the direction they took it. I get it. You need to have like this fallen down hero and needs to rebuild from ashes, but I think the ending was just Birdman all over again. Like they could have
I disagree.
they could have you seen Birdman?
No, but I know where you're going with this.
Where am I going
How?
with this, Evan?
The hero, so to speak, gets all shot down, gives it up, and then comes back and just does a great fucking job without having been there for X amount of time. Is
Sure.
kind of where you're getting at with this.
But I think they could have executed it differently, where instead of it just being like, hey, in a quote unquote realistic situation where you have this this failure of a kid who just has tried his life and poured his life into this, and then this fired guy. Really, what guy is going to seek revenge on a kid by making him play a thing by
Yuval, this is what I was telling you before we started this podcast.
No,
if
I
you're
understand.
looking at this movie from a realistic standpoint,
I know
that's not fair to the art of the movie.
I know.
Look at this movie from, like I said, the basic fundamental story arc that makes a hero.
Yes, okay,
Makes a
I
heroic
agree.
story.
It was a great thing. But I think they could have again.
What would you have done differently? Oh, art director Yuval.
instead of it just throwing him, I think it would have been.
Did you want a Rocky training montage
No,
of him on the drums
no.
to get back to where he was?
No, not to that exactly, but not be in this symphonic, or whatever,
Carnegie Hall?
whatever. Yeah, sure. What was it? The JCV or whatever? JVC.
JVC
Yeah,
Jazz
that.
Festival at Carnegie Hall.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So instead of having it there where it's like there's this expectation and it's just you have to do perfect. Why not just it be the guy, the newspaper guy and the kid?
Fletcher.
Whatever.
Fletcher.
I don't care. He's still
And
Parker to
Andrew
me. He's
Naaman.
still the guy yelling Parker. That's just
J. Jonah Jameson.
yes.
So would you
sure.
say you're kind of upset because it has such a happy ending? That
Not-
kind of takes it away from you?
Not necessarily a happy ending. It's more like I think from the spiraling down depression / just his life is ruined and his girlfriend or his ex has a boyfriend and he's going nowhere and blah 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 to the end. I think instead of like having starting at the very top, then reaching the valley, and then now you're kind of back to the top. Just like let him plateau a little bit. Just like not. It's not that it doesn't have to be a happy ending. It's just like all of a sudden now he's playing this, and then he wins the respect of his teacher. Like what is that? That's a stupid. And I get it. And this is what I was trying to say before. It was like, it's about the music, man, and music respects music, and you're really good, and so I'm gonna like vibe with you and fix your little cymbal while you're trying to play the drums, and it's like
I said, that's it. I don't want to interrupt, but that's an oversimplification. Because,
It's not- okay,
yes, it
then-
is. Because
then-
think about it. No, think
then
about it. What was Fletcher,
undersimplify.
What was Fletcher looking for?
He was looking for the best,
He was looking for the next Charlie Parker.
right? Sure.
And when Andrew came back on stage after his little speech in the bar, where he said no, because the next Charlie Parker wouldn't get discouraged.
Right.
That was the first little click in Fletcher's mind, like
oh shit, I found my man.
All right, maybe. And then after he dives into Caravan or whatever song it was, and blows the whole hall away, including Fletcher, you saw a switch in Fletcher's mind. Remember, great example. Remember the pianist that he was talking to in the hallway before their first set, and Andrew was he was with his daughter.
Yeah.
And he said, "You're gonna be the." That was a player that earned Fletcher's respect, and you saw how he treated him.
Right.
He was the next blah blah blah.
Sure.
And so when Andrew became the next Charlie Parker, that's when Fletcher didn't have anything else to shun him on, because he did what he thought no one else could do.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. Was that last thing, was that planned, or did he expect to just see the kid walk
I
off
don't
and
think
not
so.
see him?
Oh, it wasn't planned at all. His plan was, hey, I'm gonna
humiliate
invite him
this
to this
kid that
concert,
got me
completely
fired.
humiliate him,
Right.
and ruin his chances of having any kind of career.
Okay,
in
so
the
if
city.
you go into that and you're like, I'm going to humiliate this kid, and then the kid comes back and then totally steals your show, and what was this whole thing his whole entire time? It's my music, my tempo, my show, mine.
Unless you're the next Sean Casey, who was this jazz trumpet player that rose up the ranks and became one of the best trumpet players in the world. Or unless you're the next Charlie Parker, a Andrew Naaman. So
basically, it's I'm going to humiliate you, and on the off chance that you're good enough to show me up, come back on here and show me that you really have what it takes, then take it.
Well, that's what he tried to do before in the concert things, and
which one?
whatever he
Try
was
to
like.
humiliate him on stage.
No, after
Think about
when he
this.
forgot his drumsticks earlier in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
he forgot his drumsticks, and then he shows up to the show,
Sure, yes.
and he's like, "You're not giving that fucker my spot," and he's like,
Right.
"What are you talking about? That's my music. I lend it to you."
Right, because Fletcher had a reputation to keep control of.
And
he
then
was
that is
the,
true as well. It's all him.
Well,
yeah,
it's
he
all
was
sure,
the conductor
that-
of the top jazz student jazz band in the world, and so he had a reputation to live up to. When he lost that, what else did he have but music? He was essentially doing it just to get back at Naaman, just to get back at Andrew.
I don't understand how he was like, "I knew it was you."
Because who else?
Who else would?
I don't know. One of the other drummers. I don't fucking know.
I think they would have. I think the director would have given us that information.
Yeah, true.
If it was relevant.
Oh, this musician also quit, and they're following with the lawsuit on Sean Casey's behalf too, but they didn't.
And one thing
whatever.
I always like to bring up whenever I'm talking about this movie is I don't think the ending can be taken as a happy ending, but it's a little open ended. Whereas
go ahead.
it could be the same thing as the student Sean Casey. He got basically bullied to shit by Fletcher and then became good enough to show Fletcher what
That he
got.
killed himself.
Exactly. So how do we know Andrew Neiman isn't in that same boat? Like, just because he went back on there and showed his shit does not mean he's good.
Right.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Look at it from this standpoint. Look at it as almost a Greek tragedy. Look at it from that standpoint. So Andrew keeps fighting Fletcher and keep trying to prove himself to Fletcher, and Fletcher is pushing him using his values of never say good job to anybody. And finally, Andrew comes back on stage with Fletcher beating him down until the point where Andrew becomes the next Charlie Parker. Look at it as a tragedy that Fletcher kind of won. His strategy did work to create the next Charlie Parker. Don't look at it as Andrew won. Maybe trying to twist it around and look at it, Fletcher won. He proved that his strategy and his theory to create the next Charlie Parker
Yeah,
worked.
he's a genius. And
No, he's not. And Damien Chevelle even goes on record, and I read this article in the Atlantic when this movie came out while we were watching the movie. And he acknowledges that Fletcher is the disgusting, homophobic, disgusting bastard, and he's supposed to be the villain. He's not supposed to gain anything from his move on Andrew. It's just supposed to be him being a supervillain in a movie.
Well, then what's the point of that? Why would a supervillain want to?
Some people just want to watch the world burn, Yuval.
Yeah, okay, all right, but like, I don't necessarily agree with the assertion that he's a supervillain necessarily. I think he's just a piece of shit person who just wants to make good music and make good musicians. So you want to hate him.
I'm not saying he wanted to make Sean Casey kill himself. I'm
Right.
not saying he wanted.
No, right.
No, but he is the villain of this movie. He is this arch enemy of what music is supposed to be about, which is, freedom to express yourself and push yourself and make great music. Fletcher kind of goes against the grain with that, saying, no, there is a right fucking way to do this. And it's to practice, it's to get beaten down, it's to get tortured musically to the point where you almost don't even want to, you question why you wanted to play in this band in the first place. Mm-hmm. And the people that stick around are the musicians that he wants.
And one thing to also kind of take into mind when reviewing and watching this movie, there are directors like that. That is something that music students who go to colleges like that do have to deal with. Like for example, back whenever I used to take clarinet lessons or whatever, my teacher would she went to Eastman, which is, I believe, the second best music school in the United States. Mm-hmm. And she was like second or last, like in her group to get in. Right. And she spent 8 hours a day locked in a practice room, skipping meals to actually get to the point where she was good enough to keep up with the pack and actually earn her spot and keep her spot in that school. Like, it's not terribly, I mean, obviously it's over dramatized, but it's not terribly far off from what students actually have to deal with when it comes to art in general, not just music.
Damien said he based Fletcher off of his high school band director.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Fletcher reminds me of two of my high school band directors.
Oh.
Like they get really into it. It's kind of scary.
It reminds me of the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie, Yvonne?
I did see that movie,
Yeah.
and I would love to compare the two of them because I way would have rather had the Full Metal Jacket guy.
You'd rather have Arlie, what's his name?
I have no idea, but I way would
Arlie Ermy or whatever.
because I feel like there was more structure to his character.
to the
The
drill
Full Metal,
sergeant?
yeah, to the drill sergeant.
Explain.
Okay, so one.
Like, what do you feel is not structured about Fletcher's character?
Okay, so the fact that the drummer boy made drumming sounds and did it in a good tempo.
God, he's good.
So the drummer
Poet.
So the drummer boy makes drumming and does drum good, and then newspaper man says,
Sorry, listeners.
newspaper man goes,
Fletcher, like the corn
Fletcher-
dogs.
Fletcher and Neiman.
okay,
Fletcher goes.
okay,
The Fletcher goes. That's not quite my tempo.
all right, okay.
Like the sound effect
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
Anyways, newspaper man goes, you earned it. You earned your spot, and you're gonna play Whiplash / Caravan or whatever. And then they get to the place, and he's like, nope, sorry. What is that? What was that supposed to teach him? Do you know what I'm talking about? The
which
scene,
example?
whenever it was
Which
the
example?
three of them, they were all battling it out, and they're
Yeah.
like, they're going crazy, and they're all bleeding and like dying and the
Yeah.
sweating. And then he goes to not Peter Parker and goes, and then newspaper man says, "You've earned it." He's straight up said, "You've earned your spot" or whatever. Congratulations, Peter
Translation,
Parker.
Fletcher says Neiman has earned the part after playing the drums, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so they go to that concert or whatever.
Anytime.
They go to that concert or whatever, and then that was when he was running late or whatever. The bus got a flat tire. Oh, also, I get it. It's a story device. The story device, and like to move the plot along and to like, oh no, because like if the bus didn't break down, then he would have gotten there on time and blah blah blah.
It would have been fine, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like because he was there, he still was there before the performance, and he was still there relatively early. He could have used someone else's sticks, but then newspaper man is like, "No, you cannot have it." And it's like, what structure is that?
No,
what is that supposed
Fletcher
to?
didn't.
Yes,
Fletcher,
he did. Straight,
right, but that was after the leprechaun dude, whatever his name was,
Yeah.
said, "You're not using my fucking sticks." And then Andrew turns around and goes, "Shut the fuck up," or whatever.
Yeah.
And starts yelling at him. And then that's when Fletcher goes, "You better
No.
get your
Yes. Yes.
No.
'Cause he says, no. He goes, he runs inside and he
Yes.
goes, "Oh, well, I'm glad you had enough time to come to the show."
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, "Well, I see you forgot your sticks." And he's like, "I'll just use Connolly's."
And Connolly goes,
And Connolly's like, "Fuck no." And he's like, "Fuck you,
lace curtain
leprechaun."
Irish
and,
pussy,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then he turns around to Fletcher and Fletcher's like, "Okay, well,
Get your own fucking sticks.
we're on
Be
stage
back
at
here."
5:30. If you don't have your sticks and you're not here at 5:30, you're done." And so he's like, "Okay." And then he goes and speeds and gets in a car crash. And,
I don't
and that's
understand the point of the
that's
car crash.
It's Whiplash.
It's to.
Oh.
It's Whiplash.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah,
Oh my god.
I get it now. I get it. I get it.
I didn't. I
That is genius. Holy shit! This movie just got
See, you
amped up a
all. It's
little
not
bit more.
that. It's
It's-
good.
I
This
mean,
movie got amped up
it's-
a little bit
I
more
just
for
feel
me.
like
I do agree that you're on a bus to getting hit by a car like right in a row like that is kind of.
it was
Yeah,
just a
it
bad
sucks.
day for him.
Yeah, it's like it was just like, oh, well, you just had
It's
this.
the
I just think-
essential
life.
story arc of beating the hero down to the lowest he could go.
Yeah, I understand, but I just think Newspaper Man could have had a little more structure. Because when you look at him and he's just constantly belittling and berating and screaming, and he's not necessarily getting that point across where, whenever he was talking to his family or I guess his dad or whatever, he was like, I think he likes me or whatever. But
Was he telling the truth there, or was he trying to play it up to his family, trying
Oh,
to
I
make
don't
himself feel
know.
relevant when his older
I think
brother
that's
is
it.
going to be a part of the UN and his older brother is a D3 All-Star?
Oh, man.
Was he
Division
trying to?
3. That's not even Division
That's a vision. It's like. Was he trying to make himself
what was the point of that? We could have
to acknowledge
It was to add more. For one, it was more stress points for Neiman. And for 2, it was to kind of put in perspective because that is kind of what happens when you put sports and music on the same table.
Right. It was a symbol
for the majority
symbolism
of people.
for what's going on with music today in general. I feel
What do
that's
you
what I
mean?
saw.
I don't
You
know
mean
necessarily
Jazz
today,
music
but-
specifically, I guess.
What do you mean?
Jazz music's getting. Fletcher said it when they were at the bar. No
It's
wonder
dying.
jazz is dead.
It's overlooked. No one's interested anymore. And it's obvious when they're sitting at the dinner table that nobody really gives a shit about what Andrew's doing. Because, little Johnny's a football star. Or, someone else has a brain. And then even when his own dad comes back with, well, you don't want to be, a 34-year-old alcoholic who dies from a heroin overdose. And he says, well, I'd rather be remembered
Right.
than be remembered by just my friends. kind of
Right.
thing.
I don't know. I just. Anyways,
Moving on.
moving on. I don't know. I didn't really take any notes, and I guess so.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
Do
you
want,
guys are.
some talking points on it?
I mean, I don't necessarily have really any. I already bitched and complained. Sure, the dialogue was really nice, and I thought the end though was a little jarring when it kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back
I
and
think
forth.
the
back and
cinematography
forth,
is great
back
up
and
until
forth,
then.
back and forth, back and
And
forth,
then they're just
back and
being
forth,
showy.
back and forth.
We get
back
it.
and forth,
I don't know. I
back
think
and
it's
forth,
genius
back and forth.
editing. It's to show the chaotic mess that Andrew is trying to climb himself out of. You're going back and forth from Fletcher to the drum set, from Fletcher to the snare to
I
Fletcher to the
see
hi-hat.
what you're saying, but I really do think that 15, 20-second little clip right there of just
It was jarring.
back and forth is just kind of showboating at that point.
I enjoyed it.
Otherwise, I really do like the cinematography in the movie.
Well, isn't the whole thing a showboat? Isn't it like I'm the best, so I'm going to show it off?
No.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
showboat it off.
that's what the last 10 minutes are.
Isn't that what a showboat is to show it off?
I think it's
showboating
more
is
proving
showing
himself to not just Fletcher, but to Andrew that he is the next Charlie Parker.
Oh, I was just talking from cinematography standard.
Have you even listened to Charlie Parker?
No?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I'm sure Evan has.
Oh, okay.
This movie makes me want to get in
I
more
love jazz. It's,
more read on jazz music. And Evan, I need your help on that, by the way.
I got you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Anyways, okay, so I think we thoroughly covered the story progression and stuff like that, and how I think it's total bogus, and I don't know,
I mean,
man.
I see what you're saying, but it's a story.
Right, and I get it, but it's just I feel like they should have, because they either needed to originally going into this movie. I thought it was going to be solely on the newspaper man and Peter Parker, and
I hate you so much.
good, please do. I thought it was going to solely be about that. Like it was just going to be. I thought there was going to be more one-on-one instead of just him in a.
You thought it was going to be more of a mentor type thing,
Yeah.
instead of an abuse,
or
type
just like
thing.
a shit. I mean, it still could have been like a shit abuse
but-
mentor thing.
And, yeah, I know what you mean.
Because I was thinking after he got kicked out, it was like, oh, okay, now here's the private lessons or whatever. He's gonna offer him private lessons or something, and then it's gonna get even worse, and then break him down there.
So
I think that would have been a better ending.
So is this a product of false expectations, or you?
No, not necessarily.
So you'd much rather prefer Andrew and Fletcher become besties? And
No,
Fletcher giving him private lessons.
No. Here's what it is. So at that Starbucks or whatever, and they're
The
like,
bar, yeah.
oh, sorry, they're
Are
not
you talking about the jazz show or
right before the jazz
Yeah,
show
so they're
when
at
he
the
was
bar.
like,
jazz club?
yeah, the
Okay,
jazz
yeah.
club. So when they're at that, and then there's like, oh, hey, Peter Parker, how are you? And he's like, oh, hello, newspaper man. I'm good. How are you?
He's gonna keep. Let's just deal with it.
I know.
Anyways, it would have been better if he's like, look, I fucked you over. I was the one, blah, blah, blah. And then he would have been like, oh, yeah, I know, Parker. And he's like, all right, newspaper man, I want to be the best. And he's like, okay, Parker, I'll
That's
be.
Like I said, you
that's
wanted-
not Fletcher's character in any way.
Why not? Why wouldn't it be to shit on me even more and make me better? Why is that not in his character?
Because he does. Cause that's what he does.
That's
He-
not his.
He fucks him over in the worst way possible by bringing him to a performance where he doesn't even know all the music. At the same time,
Ruins his
kind of giving
any
him
career
that
opportunities.
trying to ruin his career opportunities and giving him that 1% chance to actually come back and take it and do it correctly. Whereas, Fletcher won't admit to his mistakes. You can see that clearly when Sean Casey kills himself, and then at a point later, he goes, "Oh, well, I think someone in Casey's class, ratted me out." And it's like, he's not treating it like, oh, one of the students who was, like the apple of my eye just passed away. He's treating it as, oh, my Charlie Parker just killed himself because I fucked him up.
Why did he?
I can't admit it.
And he lied about it. He said
Sean Casey
died in a car accident.
Why did he lie about
it? Because his students knew that if he killed himself, it's obvious of the reasons.
Oh.
Because Fletcher's not just like that with one. He's like that with everybody. Like, for example, when the trombone player is out of tune.
Yeah.
First of all, I think that scene's hilarious.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think that scene's very fucked up.
Please don't tell me that was you, Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. There's not a fucking Mars bars on the ground. Look at me! And oh man, that scene. I honestly, I think J.K. Simmons' acting throughout the entire thing is phenomenal.
What has he even acted else in?
Well,
I don't know, Spider-Man.
I don't know.
He was also Juno's dad in Juno.
What is Spider-Man?
Oh my god. I'm going to look up some IMDb on...
He was Juno's dad in Juno. He was J. Jonah Jameson or whatever in Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Who's Spider-Man?
Shut the fuck up.
I have no idea what the Spider-Man is you're talking of.
I'm trying to think what he's Commissioner Gordon in the new Justice League movie.
Yep.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's in the Justice League.
He's gonna be awesome, I think.
Ugh.
He was a voice actor in Zootopia and Kung Fu Panda. He was also in La La Land.
Was he
He
really?
was in
Spider-Man, Terminator
What
Genesis.
is? You keep saying Spider-Man. What is Spider-Man?
you all. He was in I Love You, Man.
That's with Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I like Jim Carrey.
I Love You, Man is Jim Carrey?
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Isn't that Jim Carrey? I thought that was Jim Carrey.
Go to I Love You, Man real quick. I'm sorry.
God,
It was either Jim Carrey or Ben Stiller? Or both?
Dude, that was Paul Rudd and Jason Segel.
Who am I thinking of with Jim Carrey and...
And who? Eternal Spotless Mind.
No. Eternal Moonlight of the Sunshine Spotless.
Is that movie good?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It
probably sucks.
That movie is less stressful than less stressful than Whiplash. I didn't like the stress.
You don't like stressful movies.
I don't like
You don't like stressful movies.
I know.
The first time I watched it, I was honestly stressed the entire movie.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the point.
I think
Yuval doesn't like being stressed out.
I think that's part of the movie that really makes it shine is that it truly stresses you out. It's like being able to make you...
The cable guy. That's Jim Carrey and Ben Stiller.
Yes.
I remember.
That's it.
Thank you. Sorry, continue. Stressing. I don't like stress. You're right. And
why don't you like that? But you don't like the euphoric feeling after when you're sucked into a movie and you're...
No, because the ending wasn't good.
The ending was fine.
Ending was phenomenal.
Right, and so out of all of that stress and out of all of that, like the dissonance and just the feelings, you should be like total sigh of relief. At the end of that movie, I was just like, okay, what's next? No,
that's the point.
Go back to the
That's the entire point of
right, but that's not good resolution though. Oh my Lord. It's Birdman all over again. I'll say it once, I'll say it 10 million more times. Seriously, I
don't see how it's I guess like I said, in the Aristotelian or whatever the Aristotle's view of a hero story, yes, where it's cliche, the hero is putting himself and his life on the line, and he's beaten down to a pulp, and he comes back, and he finally is the hero that everybody wanted him to be, including himself. Yes, that's where it's similar. What else?
I don't know.
There you go. So Star Wars is the same as Birdman.
No.
Gladiator.
No,
is the same
Star
as
Wars
Birdman.
is not the same as Birdman.
Why not? Luke starts as nothing, risks his life, and becomes the master Jedi that he is.
Right, that's it. Good resolution. Done. He doesn't fly out of a window and break character.
He does become a master of drums. It's just that the ending.
But why is it that the break? Hold
on. Okay. The ending shows that he has mastered his craft, and then you have a little bit of open-endedness on whether or not he actually goes and becomes the real thing and actually becomes the next Charlie Parker, or whether he goes down the same road as Sean Casey.
And
dies. Sorry, now I finished my fucking sentence. Go ahead.
But I don't think that him not doing drums for a long time would just make him master his craft. If it was just like, if they had one scene where they showed him just playing casually or something, then
Did
I'd be
you
like,
not see when he was setting up his drums for the
that
first
was
time?
after he said, "Hey, do you want to do the show?"
Yeah, so he got his drums back out and set them up, so it's implied that he practiced.
No, I imagine that was maybe like a day or something in between.
He said take a week.
No, he said take the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
The
so
weekend
now we're
isn't
looking
enough.
at 2 days of time that could be implied as practice because we didn't see anything else happen.
After months of not playing.
Okay.
After
think
months,
about
that's
this, though.
correct.
Think
But
about
every
this.
time they receive a new sheet of music, they get it the day of, and they're expected to know it the day of. That's what professional musicianship is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
is
think
being a
about this.
master.
Yeah.
Is like literally being able to take a sheet of music, no matter how hard it is,
Yeah,
being
but it
able
was-
to read through it and master it as quickly as possible. That's how you get paid as a musician.
Oh,
Think about this. If I asked you to go take your guitar
yeah.
and play Holiday by Green Day,
Yeah.
how long would it take you?
12 days.
No. Because you can show me how to play Holiday. You showed me how to...
Sure.
Why?
Because I know it. But he didn't know what it was going
Yes,
to be
'cause
Does
played.
he
he
know it?
No.
No, he told him. He said we're playing
The
the
same
old
stuff-
the studio band
he did,
classics.
didn't he? Okay.
Yeah. He just didn't tell him about the new piece.
That's true. All right. I don't know. I
You
don't.
idiot. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, thank you. I don't know. I think that as an artsy fartsy movie, sure, it was cool. It was interesting.
It is an artsy fartsy movie.
I will, but I'm not gonna watch this movie again. But I don't think
That's fair.
if someone's like, "Hey, do you want to watch Whiplash again?" It's not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, let's watch Whiplash." I think now that I know the character and I know the exact story and I know everything that happens and stuff like that, it's not like, oh, let's rewatch it and see what did I miss or what are some things that, because I feel like for tonally speaking and the dialogue and the character demeanor and stuff like that, I picked it all up the first go. I don't think it was it's not like The Departed or something where you're like, oh shit, I didn't notice this, or oh crap, what did it blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
it's
blah.
not. It is kind of shallow. I'll give you that. It is a very, very much a one watch movie. I just watched it a lot because I like it.
It's just, hey, I'm gonna slap you in the face in four fours, and am I slow or fast? And that's what happened to me this entire movie.
I don't know. I think it was
You know you like that. Scene.
beautifully simplistic. I don't know. It was, at the end of the day, it comes down to a 19-year-old kid that just wants to be the next great drummer.
That's also true. I think he had a really inflated ego at 19. I think
You are the alternate for the biggest student jazz corps in the United States, if not the world. You'd have an ego too.
would I though?
Especially when Fletcher, this guy that you look at as a god, says, no, alternate drums, you're with me.
Okay, I guess.
And then
I
you
think
won
I
the
do
spot.
think it was. I do think it's understandable how his ego may have gotten boosted when he got pulled out of that second band,
Sure.
and he was like the alternate, and he played for like 3 seconds, and then Fletcher's like, "Hey, you kid, come with me," and everyone's like staring at him.
Wait,
I saw his ego really shine though when after he played Whiplash from memory.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's when he started getting more comfortable with the girlfriend, with Nicole.
Yeah.
He started branching out more. He knew that he had.
wait. So did he purposely lose the? Did he
no.
purposely load the
Do
booklet?
you think
I
JK?
don't think he purposely lost it. I don't know how it got lost.
Do you think
because
Fletcher took it?
That would be my guess. If anything, I think Fletcher took it. The only thing, honestly, no matter what you theorize for that part, there's holes in it. There's no way. There's no sound argument for what happened
Yeah.
there.
Well, but I mean, I don't know. I either way, the fact that it gets lost and then this, Peter Parker's like, "Hey, I'll play."
Wait, who's Peter Parker from?
I don't know, this movie called Spider-Man.
What's
Have you heard of it?
Spider-Man?
Well, so it's about a guy
Oh my god!
and
We're
he
doing
was
goes
kidding.
to a
Please
science
No, I want to
museum.
hear what he says.
Please.
It's
He
a
goes to a
science
science
museum.
museum.
Okay, you sure it's a science museum? It's not a section of Oscorp. You sure?
Goes to a science museum.
Okay,
Hold on.
anyway,
this is all,
we were
real
talking
quick.
about the
No,
Lost
this is my
Boulder.
retelling of Spider-Man. Take a second to relax. Here we go. Once upon a time, a man, kind of a little nerd,
Where'd you say the room was?
a little bit of a nerd, goes to a science museum, and it's on a school field trip to the science museum, and so he's taking photography, and so there's this one beautiful girl, who is
What
called
is her name?
Marijuana, and and
Tom Petty
she
wrote a song about her.
Waxahachie.
And so she wants her picture taken. And so Peter Parker goes, I will take your picture. And then she goes, okay, thank you. And then he goes, you're welcome. And so then he takes a picture.
I'm sensing some sexual frustration between marijuana and Peter Parker.
And then a spider bites Peter Parker. And then
what kind of spider?
a blue and red spider.
Okay.
And then
Just a
Is
regular
that the
old,
scientific term?
yes,
a regular old blue and
red spider that was from the streets of New York and came from the sewers where a rat
Where the Ninja Turtles
was yes, where a rat called Master Sensei was where Master what is it? Shredder's the bad guy.
I'm not even gonna tell you what it is.
Master I'm pretty sure it was Master Sensei. I don't think that's right.
Isn't Sensei Master?
I know
Yes.
exactly. Mr. Miyagi. So, anyways, this guy from California from New Jersey moves to California, and then he knows nobody, and then he goes to this beach party, and he starts flirting with this girl, and then some bikers out of the blue come to this beach party, and then beats him up, and then he tries to fight because he says he knows karate. And then the bikers beat him up.
Are we talking about the Karate Kid?
That's exactly where I was going.
And then he goes to Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi's like, wax on, wax off.
What was the point of the spider?
Jesus
So then-
Christ. Jesus Christ.
And so then,
How can you post this?
and then, they go into a space station, and there's a radioactive wave of gamma waves, and then a man,
Fantastic Four?
and then Bruce Willis, but like 300 pounds, becomes the Thing. And who was it? Bruce Willis?
No.
Who was it? It was like Bruce Willis, but like
No.
400 pounds. Anyways, and then they all get together.
Michael
and
Chiklis.
Who's Michael Chiklis?
Have you ever seen The Shield on FX?
No.
I can't help you.
Michael Chiklis sounds really familiar. Is there any other
He
movies?
looks like a giant scrotum.
So he's like Bill Maher. What is his name?
What?
What is his name? Who did I literally just say 30 seconds ago?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Thank you. That's his name.
Okay.
And then Peter Parker starts taking photography for the Daily Bugle, and then
Is that from Fairly Odd Parents?
no, I think it's from something else. It's probably from another cartoon. Anyways, and so then he's taking photos, and then Fickle Man goes, Parker, where are my photos? And so then he takes
That is from
photos.
Spider-Man, I'll be damned.
Yeah. Oh, is it the Daily Bugle?
Yeah.
What were you thinking? I'm thinking the Daily Planet. The Daily
That's
Planet is
Superman.
Superman. Okay. Anyways, so he goes,
What
Parker,
movie did we watch?
Parker, I need photos of Spider-Man. And he says, I got you, boss. And then he takes photos of Spider-Man. What is he doing? Playing the drums. Boom. Full circle. And we're back.
Wow.
I really do not like you.
I like that. That was really good.
We're having fun here.
I don't know. We're like a little over half hour, and I don't really have anything else to say on the
Okay,
movie.
let me ask you.
Go ahead,
Strictly
ask
from
me.
acting perspectives, what did you think of Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons?
JK Rowling's was really good.
Oh my
I
god!
I honestly hated the kid.
You hated Miles
Why?
Teller?
I just and I guess it's just the writing, and he's just supposed to turn into this like psychopath kid that's just, you know, gets obsessed with becoming the best. But I don't know. I think
That's essential to the story.
yeah, yes, it is essential to the story, but I think he
Just
probably could have been casted a little bit better.
Okay.
I think like Tobey Maguire would have been a better fit.
Funny you should say that. No,
What
not
do you
Andrew
think about
Garfield or
What do you
Tom
think about
Holland?
the actors for the other two drummers? I think the leprechaun kid
Made me hate him.
just
He did a
smiles
great.
way too much. Yeah,
Wait,
did
he
a
was
great
the
job of
reason-
making me hate him.
He was the
has a
reason.
smug face
Uh-huh.
all the time.
He was the reason. He was the quitter or the pusher?
Wow, a lot of questions.
No, wasn't when they had the conversation at the Starbucks, they were like, why don't you ask this person? He's like, oh well, he just didn't have the drive. And then what about the other person?
No.
Oh
so
well, he is
Tanner
in
went
med school.
pre-med
Right.
And Connolly was the redhead.
just
Didn't have the drive.
couldn't cut it.
Got it. Okay. So Connolly was the
He was just a catalyst for Fletcher to use to get to Miles even more.
okay. So he
He
was.
said that in the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the other guy.
No.
Oh, okay.
The
Connolly
other
was
the other
the
guy
Irish
was the
dude.
original core drummer for the studio.
Yeah, Connolly was brought in by Fletcher to piss off Neiman.
So how don't you know that Peter Parker was the catalyst for the first original core drummer?
Because the first original core drummer didn't do it. Because he wasn't good enough. If Andrew was the catalyst, the first core drummer would still be the first core drummer, and there wouldn't be a problem.
That's true.
Okay.
You got anything else for me, Blake? I really hate it.
What do you think of the music?
Oh, I love the music. Music was awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear anything wrong with the tempo, and I couldn't hear anything wrong with anything. So I think it's
One
just as bad.
little tidbit about this movie that this is actually my big complaint for the movie, and it's a very small thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they're with the lower band. And Fletcher walks in and he's going through the trombone players and through the saxophone players.
Yeah.
Like how the first two would always play it like pretty well, and then the third one would sound like a fucking sixth grader.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think they just got
bothered me
nervous. I think
so
they just got.
much.
I think the point of it was Fletcher was so intimidating. They just freaked
No,
out.
that's not even.
It was
There's
just-
nothing that covers up that. It was just so bad. It was like, can you play it? Da 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 da. Can you play it? Da da And it's like, no one who was allowed to step foot in that school would be able to mess
sure.
up that bad.
for sure.
I don't know. That just bothers me.
Well,
I thought
I mean,
it was funny. That was
I thought it was
comedic
hilarious.
relief.
I really thought it was funny.
well, I mean,
Oh no!
it's like past my bedtime. Anyways,
Really?
isn't that the kind of he threatened to be a page turner. So if you're an alternate, you'd always be that page flipper. So isn't the lower chairs, if they suck, then they suck, and they're just okay with sucking?
For
And
the
they're-
drummers.
I mean,
but it's
You're
different.
not turning
It's different.
pages if you're a second or third string
yeah,
sax.
if you're
or
a second or
trombone.
third sax, you're still playing. You're likely playing a different part. If you're,
okay.
it's basically like bass, drum, and piano is
Uh-huh.
where you get one. Or
Oh,
like bass,
well, sure.
trombone. Well,
Sure.
it's
So, like-
just in those sections where it's like you get one of these per band,
Mhm.
where it's actually being core or alternate really, really matters. Like
Right.
you can be a second chair trumpet and still be an amazing fucking player.
Oh yeah,
The guy who's in first chair might just have a small edge over you, but you're still a great player.
right.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they usually kind of split it up from, or at least when I was in band, they would
What instrument did you play?
trombone
Why?
Nice, dude.
because it was a blast. I had so much fun. It brought back so many memories of just being in a big band and just having a blast playing music and it sounding amazing. I think that's such a euphoric feeling when you have all of
I
these players that
completely agree.
work really hard and practice all the time. And then once you go out on stage and you hear it after weeks and weeks of rehearsal and you finally hear what this group of 70 kids have come together to create,
Yeah.
I think there's something magical about that.
Yeah, rehearsals are just fun, and then when you get to the actual performance and you're there actually playing it, and it's all together, and it's not.
I remember getting goosebumps.
Yeah, whenever it's not a rehearsal, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. It's
So when they were going through the movie and he was like picking out certain specific parts, that's normal.
which part?
Yeah, absolutely. Wherever he's like, let's play Whiplash, start at measure 17. Yeah, that's totally normal.
Oh, okay.
Because usually it'll be like, I mean, just from my experience, you'll get they'll give you the music, you'll have X amount of time to look over it, kind of give it a try on your own, and then whenever you come to class that day, you'll all get it out and just start from the beginning, play the whole thing through, don't stop, no matter how bad it is. And then they take
conductor's gonna
notes
be
and they
taking
start
notes,
and they say,
yep.
okay, well, we need to work on like 22, 67,
Trombones need to work
89.
on measures 3, 4, and 5. Clarinets, you'll need you guys to hit that crescendo a little bit more whenever we're going up to bar 18. Let's go French horns. I need you guys to be a little bit more subdued on measure 27 or whatever.
That's absolutely normal stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember. God damn it. That was... Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
I'm literally. And
Were you never in band?
No, I did choir.
No?
I
Oh, okay.
Did choir for 6th grade, and I.
So you remember sight reading? Did you guys ever do sight reading whenever you guys would go to
nope.
regionals or whatever?
Or
Districts or whatever?
No.
No,
What do you?
well, whenever we were in band, we would do our
I'm
3
going to
songs.
nationals.
We would do our 3 songs, and then there would be a sight reading competition where you had 5 judges, and
Fuck
they would
sight
give.
reading.
Yeah, it sucked because they would give you. They would
I
give
mean, it
you
was
this.
easy music, but it sucked.
Yeah, the judges would give you this piece of music, and they would pass it around, and our conductor or our band teacher would only have 5 minutes, and they would time us only 5 minutes
to go over
the
the entire
whole
piece,
thing, and however
without being able to play it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like you can't actually physically play it. You just get to kind of go along with it as your conductor
Right. You'd have to
conducts
just
you.
sit there and kind of
then,
sign,
boom, play
sign
it.
play, and then the conductor would be like, "All right, time's up. Ready, man? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3," and then you would have to
just go
start
right
playing.
into it.
You'd have to start playing, and the band.
Why? What does that prove?
It
It's-
proves how much each player specifically can. I don't know. I always look
It
at
proves your ability to actually read music.
Yeah.
Instead, like, because anyone that is in music can sit there and practice something for 8 hours and eventually get it right. But sight reading proves, okay, you can give this kid a piece of music, or you can give this group a piece of music, and they work well enough with their conductor. The conductor knows what they're doing. The kids know what they're doing well enough
Well
to
enough
be
with
able to
each
go
other,
over
too.
it with five or 10 minutes and then play it. That's
Oh,
the
wow.
whole point behind that.
Band, a lot from what I remember, band was a lot. It taught me a lot about having to suppress almost leave your ego at the door, because you're not one instrument. You're a part of a
Sure.
big band. And I remember our trombone section we would always get yelled at because we were always the loudest group.
That's
and-
trombones, though.
I know, and
All-
so
everywhere.
I know, and we would always get in trouble for it. And so it taught us as a section, whenever we would do rehearsals by our own section, whenever after school or whatever, it taught us to, okay, we're not, yeah, we love each other, we're best friends in this section, but we got to remember that we're also part of a band, and it's more than just our parts. It's more than just that cool part where we get to slide up and down and make a weird woo sound, It's more than just that. It's about making music.
But that part's there for you to show off.
Oh yeah, no, there were definitely parts where trombones and French horns,
Every
and
instrument
yeah,
gets
everyone
there-
got their
gets
little
15
solo.
seconds.
Yeah, but
It's great.
I don't know. It sends back great memories of being in that environment, and like I said, I still remember getting goosebumps sitting there listening to all of us come together and create this magical euphoric sound. I don't know. I don't know. This movie hit me home just because of those 3 or 4 years of band and loving music that much, and actually remember every day having to go home and play trombone or go into private lessons and not wanting to do any of this shit, just thinking, God, screw this, I'm not getting this. And then, I don't know, it was an amazing feeling after months of work coming to this concert and hearing all of us sound amazing.
Hold on. What was the point of him having to go into the practice at 6 a.m? Was that just a haze?
Yeah.
Was that just a
Yeah,
a
it was.
few?
It was basically just him kind of just
being a
showing off,
butthole?
being a
What do you
butt.
mean
Yeah, just-
showing
just
off?
being a
Showing off
dick.
his butthole.
Not just being a dick. Pushing him back, beating him down. He's going to be tired. He's going to be exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And for sitting
You
there
know,
for 3 hours, then he
bringing
has
that
to
up
play.
though, what's really fucked up is whenever he comes to him outside during the break and he's like, "Hey, so tell me about your mom and dad," and then
Oh my
and then
God.
directly 5 minutes later, he's like, "Well, no
Hold on.
wonder mommy left daddy, a little no good for shit writer," and it's like,
I have-
"Oh
I
my
have the quote.
God."
I have the quote. "You are a worthless, friendless, faggot-lipped little piece of shit whose mommy left daddy when she figured out he wasn't Eugene O'Neill, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a fucking 9-year-old girl. So for the final father fucking time, say it louder."
I'm upset.
Just you didn't. That part didn't make you kind of.
I honestly like whenever
That whole part was just like making me sad, and I just again, it's an unstructured asshole. At least everything the drill sergeant had, excuse me, sorry, every action that he has was towards the unification of the group. It was for everybody to work together, and they did work together.
Was it?
Yeah.
So him destroying Gomer Pyle for 30 minutes
not
and
30
knew that he
minutes.
was a substandard Marine.
Well,
That
because he
was-
knew that he didn't belong there. He didn't kick him out, though. I don't know why he didn't kick him out. I guess you can't really
Because
kick.
he got killed
well,
after bringing this kid to the ultimate brink and made him go insane.
well, yeah, but I think can you kick people out of the army?
yeah.
Well, like if you're in basic training, like
So what
Can you-
happens
Absolutely.
is,
That,
so
that's,
what
I'm
happens
pretty sure that's
in-
where most people get kicked out is basic.
yeah, usually if you don't cut it, then they'll sit you down. Sometimes it's a physical limitation.
Right.
And so for
like
some,
what
for
Gomer
some-
had or whatever.
right, for some Marines, but because they were in Vietnam, they didn't have time to do this. But today, if you don't make a certain time, instead of kicking you out, if you don't make a time for your 5-mile run or your push-up test, your sit-up test, or your chin-up, blah, 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 they'll make you go to, quote, fat camp, where they restrict your diet and then make you into a lean, mean killing machine. And then it put you back in with a different group of Marines that were where you left off in basic training.
okay.
But yeah, the Army can do, or the military can do whatever it wants with you.
Well, then why didn't the
have your
sergeant
ass.
kick him out?
I don't know, Yuval, why not?
Because I guess he was rooting for him.
No.
Are we still talking about Whiplash?
Kind of, we kind of are, and I'll twist back around to this. Why didn't he kick Gomer Pyle out of the Marines?
Well, because I guess he wanted him to succeed.
No.
Why?
He wanted him to suffer
Why?
because he saw Gomer Pyle as a piece of garbage.
Okay.
He was scum of the earth.
Sure.
Lower than your normal Marine that goes into basic training, who is
Sure.
already looked on as a scum of the earth by other Marines.
Sure.
That's just how the Marines operate. That's what makes them so badass. Is they literally start you from nothing. The Air Force doesn't do that. The Army doesn't do that. The Navy doesn't do that. There's something specific about how Marines are treated in basic that makes them into the baddest men on the planet. Okay? Now, because they were in the middle of Vietnam, Gomer was in the Marines because he was drafted, because he came from money. That was one of the things he said to the drill sergeant that I remember. Or he said, Lawrence is only for faggots and sailors. Do you come from royalty or whatever? And that starts the whole choking thing or whatever.
Sure.
I look at a similarity between what the drill sergeant did and what Fletcher is doing to Andrew. The only difference is Andrew has potential. Gomer doesn't. But both of the sergeant and Fletcher are trying to make them suffer as much as they can. Different motives, but they're still trying to make them suffer. So I don't see how you think the structure of the Marine drill sergeant has more structure than Fletcher.
Well,
I don't see that.
I don't know. I guess for me specifically, it's because you had not necessarily, I wouldn't call them protagonists, but you had a wider main cast of people that you could root for / go with, where obviously the center focus.
In
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket, who did we know? We know Private Joker. We knew Snowball. And that.
Well, there's 4 of them or something like that. I want to say there's 5.
or 6.
So yeah, 5 or 6. These people.
But we only got their names because he did that for literally all the ones that he wanted to pick on in Full Metal Jacket. We had no idea those were going to be main characters until Gomer shot the Colonel and Private Joker came out and tried to stop it. We had no idea who the main characters were at that point.
You think so?
Yeah, it was, and that was the point of that shot, was of that whole sequence of events, was to show the faceless, nameless figures that were going into the Marines to go fight in Vietnam.
Oh, okay. All right. I still think that I agree with your point in terms of Full Metal Jacket, but I still think Newspaper Man is very unstructured.
Okay, that's fine. If we haven't convinced you of that, then there's not really any convincing. I feel.
No, sure.
It's it's a movie. Take it how you want it. Me and Evan love this movie.
Overall, what was your favorite part? Like, what did you enjoy most about the movie? Since we've been talking mainly negatives the whole time.
Well, I mean, we gave it positive things.
Yeah,
We
but
said
we've
nice things.
I want to
mainly
hear
been-
what you think.
I want to hear what you
positives.
enjoyed about it.
When they were
When it ended.
it was over. No, I thought the when he was out of the school, when he was with his dad or with the girlfriend, or even with the family, as stressful as that was, I thought I like that more. I think I enjoyed that part, seeing the kid, not seeing what he's doing, but seeing the behind the kid.
Okay.
I like
That's
that.
fair.
I dig that.
So, and then if they just, had pretty princess tea parties with Newspaper Man, that would have been awesome.
And what do y'all think about some of Fletcher's insults?
They were hilarious.
They were genius.
I think I was outside for the one where the guy comes in to remind them that they're coming on stage. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop being so fucking nice. Or
So-
what? Oh my god.
I'm gonna stop being so fucking polite. I can
Yeah,
still see you,
yeah.
Mini-Me.
Yeah, exactly. I heard Mini-Me through the glass and I started fucking cracking up.
I don't know. His rants on Elmer Fudd still cracks me the fuck up. It was heartless.
For the record, he wasn't out of tune, Jameson. You were.
But
And the fact that he didn't know was the worst part.
Oh, it was genius.
Well, why didn't they kick that other guy out?
I don't know. Fletcher had his own motives that sometimes I don't understand. This is the 5th time I watched this movie.
Unstructured.
No. Look at and this is not a comparison at all, but I do, if I were to make a top 10 villains in movies, these two would be on my list. But what was the structure of the Joker?
Unstructured.
In the Dark Knight.
Unstructured.
So the Joker was unstructured.
Yes.
How?
That's a long conversation that we're about to start, guys.
No, I know.
That's
I can simplify it in 10
Let's
seconds.
go.
Please don't.
1,
Hold
2.
on. Hold
Okay,
on.
so Tony
So,
Stark.
Big,
Jesus Christ.
big spoopy clown man goes, I want city blown up. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Nice.
That was literally it. He okay, what I'm talking about is he had no, I'm talking about Joker now. The Joker had no rules. He just wanted shit to go crazy. So if it worked for him, awesome. If it didn't work for him, but shit still blew up, awesome.
I think we're past 10 seconds.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Or is this a minute now?
So who has more structure, the Joker or Fletcher then? Because the Joker was just doing it for the sake of chaos. Fletcher had
Sure.
a motive. Who has more structure now?
Fletcher.
Hold on.
Objectively, it's Fletcher.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking.
Finish your beer.
Wish I had beer. I would have to say the drill sergeant. No, okay, fine. Newspaper man had more structure. You're right,
Okay.
but you can't. You literally just said you're not going to compare the two, but you just did.
I'm saying because and that was just simply for a acting standpoint.
Oh,
As
okay.
Those two were, and that's why I said they'd both be on my top 10 villains.
I
or
think the
supporting
Joker was
actor.
better.
Okay, that's
Joker
fine.
was a way better supporting actor.
Okay, that's
I mean,
fine.
we kind of are comparing apples and oranges right now.
No, you're not.
Okay.
The Joker was someone you wanted to hate,
And Fletcher
Yes.
wasn't.
and he was someone you wanted to hate, or I guess wanted
Okay.
is. I don't know. Did you hate the Joker? I kind of hated the Joker, but I liked the Joker. I was rooting for the Joker. Never mind.
I
take it
wasn't
back.
rooting for him, but I was awestruck, and
But you didn't
What-
hate him though.
I'm supposed to hate villains, so I felt
Yeah,
No,
you're supposed to
because-
hate it, but like
no, because I didn't hate the Joker because I knew everything was gonna work out. With this
for
movie,
him or for Batman.
for Batman,
Oh,
yeah, it always works out for.
I
Batman.
don't know that the way Dolan Dark, whatever his name is.
Christopher Nolan.
Thank you.
Oh my lord.
Whatever Duckman made. I thought that it was if the world blew up and Batman was still alive, that still the Joker wins.
Right, but that didn't happen.
I know it didn't happen, but it could have happened. I think they
You're
set
right,
up that
and
character.
you know what? In this movie, they could have done a Rocky Eye of the Tiger training montage of Fletcher and.
That's
Neiman
not the
training.
point. Okay, one thing, Fletcher only was angry. I think if he had a wider range of emotions other than the fake crocodile tears and the anger and laughing at people's pain.
like the drill sergeant.
I don't think his tears were crocodile tears.
No, I don't think so either.
Really? You think he was genuinely upset?
He
Yeah,
lost.
not
he
not
lost-
because of someone dying, because he lost Charlie Parker. That he worked so hard for.
I thought he
I mean,
said.
I
I thought he
don't-
said he never had a Charlie Parker.
Well, his
Well,
Charlie
he-
Parker of trumpeting.
Yeah, his,
Oh,
his
okay.
Charlie
His Louis
Parker,
Armstrong.
His Charlie Parker hung himself.
That's true.
I mean, I think they were genuine tears. I agree. He was just 99% angry, and that is kind of one dimensional.
Yeah.
But I personally, I don't think
Until
it
the
was
last part of the movie.
crocodile tears.
What do you think? Oh, here we go. What do you think he said to him?
What do you mean?
They didn't show his mouth, but they showed Fletcher saying something to Andrew before the final climax of the song.
I
What do you
didn't
think?
pay
he said?
attention. I don't know.
Didn't
Recreate the mouth
wait, no,
movements.
both times that they talked, what didn't it say some? Didn't he say something to him? Because the first time he said, "I know you told on me," and the second time he said, "Oh, I guess I didn't get the music," and then
Well, no.
and then he went up to go talk on stage, and then Andrew just started.
Right, but it was right after his amazing drum solo.
Okay.
And then he holds it, and Andrew looks at him, and you see J.K. Simmons move his mouth. We didn't see his mouth.
Oh, I don't know.
on
He didn't
purpose.
say anything. No, he was.
He didn't say anything.
No, he was nodding, and then he just did that. And
No,
he just-
no, he didn't have.
Oh,
his
I know what you're
hands
talking.
up.
It was like the half face thing, and
Right,
you saw his
you
like.
saw his mouth moving, but
I don't
we
think
didn't
he
hear
said
what
anything.
You don't think he said
I'm
anything?
pretty sure he didn't say anything there.
Uh-oh, about to get slapped, proven wrong.
No. Hold on.
The internet will piece it out off of the reflection based on.
That's fine, dude.
No, I'm just trying to find and I put it on mute because.
Well, I hope
music.
I hope that he didn't say anything, because him saying things acknowledges the Peter Parker and makes the whole thing blown to poopy.
Elegantly put.
Thank you. Blown to poopy. All right, we'll fit.
All right, hold on.
Put the thing, and then you guess
hold
what
on.
he says. Okay. We're watching this. Anyways, so there's a big giant green man, and he gets upset, and instead of going to the therapist,
what the hell, YouTube?
and so instead of showing his feelings to a therapist, he decides to go and smash things. And he's a very hulky kind of guy, and he wears purple pants. And so there's this one time where he was dancing around, and the earth started shaking, and
He didn't
then
look like he was talking there.
It almost did. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I hope he doesn't say anything, because then it's
I
just.
don't know. I want him to. I was thinking about.
What do you think he would have said?
Either
Fuck you.
either Charlie Parker or Good Job. Because in the bar,
The
he
whole
said,
point is good job
I
is the
know,
worst thing.
But because the worst thing you can
Ooh.
say to a kid when he's not Charlie Parker is good job. It's the two worst words in the English language. That's why I think it'd be great if he said good job to him.
I don't think he would have. I think it's out of character.
Okay. The whole ending scene was out of his character. Was not
No,
Fletcher.
Yes,
I don't.
I
disagree.
agree.
No, I completely disagree.
Why? How is that?
How is it? How is it out of character at all?
Because he wouldn't have let him keep playing. He would have taken his drums away.
No,
He would have said,
because-
bad Parker.
No, if you've been pushing this kid this whole hour and 45 minutes that this is all elapsed in at this point,
This is pushing the kid before he got fired. Before he made the decision to fuck this kid's
we're
career
talking
over.
about the final
concert,
right?
concert. Yeah,
Yeah, where
the whole point of
where he
that
walks
concert.
back on and just starts playing.
Yeah.
Well, that's the second half of the final concert.
what I'm talking
but the
about.
whole concert, the whole reason why he invited him was to screw him over.
Yes,
I'm
but
not-
then
I'm
he
not
showed
with
that
you
he
now.
was better than that, came back on stage and kicked ass. So why would Fletcher be upset? That was Fletcher's entire idea.
No, so it was
Fair
planned.
enough. I
So you think it was
I
planned?
retract my
No,
statement.
I don't necessarily think that it was planned to. I think his plan was to get the kid on stage and screw his career over.
Right.
But
He
then
needed-
when he saw that the kid had what it takes,
He would be upset.
he adapted to it.
No, he-
Because
Why would
that's-
he adapt? He'd
Because
be
that's what he
upset.
truly wants.
He found his new Charlie Parker.
that is his one goal.
Unstructured. If he was structured, he
You
would have
didn't pay
stayed
attention to the
upset.
structure, apparently.
You just
If
said
he was
you didn't
structured-
remember.
If he was structured, he would have stayed upset.
No,
Yes.
that's no, absolutely
Villains
not.
can't change in a movie.
No.
Okay.
He's not
oh,
even
my
a
bad.
villain. He's just an asshole.
Name me a villain that changes in a movie.
Oh,
Gordon
man.
Ramsay.
Who's
Huh?
that?
Gordon Ramsay,
Who's
the
that?
chef.
Who's the
From
chef?
Hell's
I
Kitchen.
hate you.
For wait, what is Hell's Kitchen?
Okay, let's.
Isn't he from the little
Where's
kids?
the power button?
No, let me honestly think. Let's see, where a villain changes his mind at the end of the movie.
And it can't be a Disney movie.
Okay, that's fine. I'm trying to think. Superhero movies where
Can't be Ace Ventura.
it's not. What? What?
Well, if it can't be movies, then what's the point of going over this?
Hold on. I know exactly what movie I'm.
No, it just
thinking
can't be Disney or Ace Ventura.
That's a lot. Well, then it can't be any Marvel
Why can't it be Marvel?
because Marvel's Disney.
well, that's true. Can't be Marvel.
Then no.
What do you mean?
You're cutting out an
of.
entire.
How about Darth Vader?
Oh, wrecked.
He did it too late, though.
What you said at the end of the movie?
No, Star
Terminator.
Wars is
You
Disney.
literally-
Star Wars is Disney.
It
Star
wasn't
Wars
at
is
that
Disney.
time. It
Terminator
wasn't
2.
at that time.
I didn't see Terminator.
The
2.
Grinch.
Star Wars was not Disney when that was created.
Grinch is Disney.
Pay attention. Star Wars
It's
was
DreamWorks.
not Disney when that was created.
All right, fine. Well, no, but Darth Vader does like the Ooh.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Why are you naming Christmas movies?
That's the what?
That's like, obviously the bad guys are going to
Unstructured.
You're right, I am unstructured.
I can't.
That's why I'm not a good character.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, I hate.
Let's
ads.
just do the final 1 out of 10 tortilla. 1 out of 10 tortilla rating and get out of here.
All right, Blake. While you're looking that up, we'll do. Okay, lightning round. All right, Evan. Would
bad
you want to
guy's
have
attitude.
Fitzgerald as your teacher?
Fletcher.
Fitzgerald?
Yes.
No, I would not want to have Fletcher as my teacher.
Blake.
I've had coaches like that, so bring it on.
I've had teachers like that. I don't want them again.
I would not want him as my teacher, especially if he worked at the Bugle. That would be not very
Oh my
fun.
god.
Evan, would you see this movie on a date?
Yeah.
Blake, would you see this movie on a date?
Already have.
I'm going to say no. And Blake, did you find a movie?
What if she's a music person?
Yeah, I just named off like 10.
You named off a Disney movie and never seen the Terminator, so that
Fine,
doesn't
Despicable
count.
Me.
That's a Disney movie.
No, it's
No,
not.
It's all owned by Disney.
No, it's
Illumination.
not.
Illumination is a subsidiary of Disney.
I'm pretty sure they're not.
I think it is. Everything's a subsidiary of Disney.
They're a
Oh my
subsidiary
God.
of Disney.
Okay, fine. Hold on.
It can't be animation.
That's fine.
What?
Come on. God damn. You're such a.
I'm pushing you, Blake. Can't you tell I'm pushing you to find the best
You
movie?
haven't thrown the chair at him yet, dude. He's not gonna get it.
Sorry.
If you throw one fucking chair at me,
I'm not going to throw a chair at you.
I will throw you off the ledge.
Because it will hit
Do it.
the
Please throw
wall.
the chair at
and
him. I wanna
don't
see him
want
throw you off the
Why
ledge.
would you want That's
We can
rude.
get you into the tree, dude.
No. Anyways, all right. And then how many chicken eggs would you rate this out of 23?
At least a 21.
Really? 21 chicken eggs.
Yeah.
Good. Blake?
I agree. 21.
21. Wow, okay.
21. No, let's go.
21, possibly a 22. But I wouldn't give it a perfect.
Let's go 17 chicken eggs and 1 pig that's ready to be slaughtered.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Wow,
going
that's
with.
a really good rating.
I'll
No,
give
it is.
it 15 chicken eggs.
Out of 23,
Okay.
that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not good,
At
though.
least you didn't.
No, I didn't hate it. I appreciated it. I could find value in it. I just think that it's Birdman. I need a new movie that's not Birdman or this movie.
Okay.
The next movie-
How about next week we watch No Country for Old Men?
That's just Birdman, though.
That movie,
It's the
that
exact
movie
opposite.
doesn't have any
No.
music, by the way.
It has one piece of music, and it's when Anton is talking to the guy at the gas station, and it's just an underlying bass, and that is the only piece of music.
Oh, yeah, where
Really
he's like,
strange.
is going weather or something like that.
Dude, we
You
should
get any
do.
rained out where you come back?
When are
Yeah.
we doing the
What would
bad
that be?
movie? When are we doing the bad movie podcast?
think.
I guess next week has to be a bad movie podcast.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Because we watched
Can
2
we
weeks
watch
in a
The
row.
Room?
Maybe.
Ooh.
We'll talk about it. Anyways,
Okay.
that is the end of the One More Podcast. I hope that my rambling didn't deter you, and I hope that we kind of made sense. I don't know. I think we had kind of an interesting talk.
We
I
had a
guess
couple
Fletcher,
really good talking points.
Newspaper Man was like the kind of center, and I guess
Why
really
did you say his name correctly? And then like
You say
and
it
then-
one time. Just say it one.
New Paper Man.
New paper man.
I will take it. That's close enough.
Full of new paper man.
New Paper Man. Anyways, that is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you hate Newspaper Man like I do, why don't you go ahead and leave a comment or dislike this video? No, don't dislike
Please
this video,
dislike
please.
this
I have
video.
never had a dislike ever, and
Oh, hold on.
stop.
Yeah, I'll get you right here. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, well, never mind then. All right. But yeah, thanks guys for being on here. Sorry that it is like so late, but that's
You're
kind
good,
of life.
dude. Thanks
so.
for having us.
Yeah, it was a
you're welcome.
blast.
All right, man. Peace out, everybody.
And that is the episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Do you want to know who a guru is? I'll tell you who a guru is. Sabrina Parker. She's a guru in investing in property. Is it buying? Is it selling? Is it renting? Is it leasing? Is it anything? Is it anything? I'm telling you, she is smart. She knows everything about real estate. All right? Whether it's finding the right location, understanding what's a good deal, literally anything and everything. If you're curious, just give her an email, give her a call. All that information is down below. If you mention the podcast, you get half off the commission rate. honestly, I would go ahead and give her a call or email her just if you have questions. It's better to know and not need it than need it and not have it. Alright, everybody, have a good one.
Oh my God, something's happening.
9,986,000 minutes. We actually sat down and did the math. 9,986,000 minutes. That's how many minutes that you've worked here.
In costumes,
And impressions?
In meetings,
in cups of coffee,
for birthdays, more meetings and
email forwards you made us read.
9,986,000 minutes. That's like watching Die Hard 80,000 times.
You hit me with your car.
You helped me get off drugs.
I watch you when you sleep.
I forgive you for kissing me.
Remember to call. Remember to call. Remember to call.
Text or call or email or call.
Measure your life in love.
Remember to call.